Tech leading stocks across Asia sharply lower this morning. Let's get a check on all the overnight action with Winnie in Hong Kong. Winnie.
Yeah, good morning, Chad. We are seeing Asian stocks tracking those losses from its U.S. peers overnight, and it is really still that chip sell-off continuing amid the higher oil prices, plus the elevated yield environment, which is usually bad for tech stocks because of how these high valuations rely on the future earnings, plus some concerns when it comes to the rising borrowing costs weighing on the capex spending when it comes to these U.S. hyperscalers as well. Now you can see that tech is really leading declines today. MSCI Asia overall down about 2%, having its worst day in 3 weeks. Now, Kospi down about 5%, but also we are seeing tech-heavy gauges in Japan and Taiwan following those declines as well. Now, on the days when you're seeing weakness in these markets, that's usually when Hong Kong shares doing slightly better. As you flip the board and see how that's showing up today, we have HS Tech down slightly less than 1%, so doing slightly better, but the overall weakness is still being seen specifically in our internet names, and Baidu here down about 12% after the company released quite disappointing earnings, some concerns around the massive capex spending, plus a slowdown in its AI growth. Now, the bright spot, though, is in Unitree Robotics. The company just had its IPO earlier today in Shanghai, with shares jumping as much as 630% at the open after the company has raised about $900 million. Now, this is making this company the very first publicly traded humanoid robotics company in China. So it does have a very significant role when it comes to that AI race between China and the US. Now, flip the board, we also take a look at what's going on in the bonds market because it still is that big story today in global markets. Of course, we are seeing treasuries stabilizing a bit after the 10-year yield having reached that highest level in about 19 months. And you are seeing Asia bonds following those moves with Japan, Australia, and New Zealand all seeing yields falling back a bit. While when it comes to currency space, we are seeing the Japanese yen strengthening just a bit, moving away from that 160 level against the dollar, against a weaker greenback as well.